Me right now, though, I do also want to bring in the Democratic Congressman from Texas, Congressman Castro, member of the Foreign Affairs and Intelligence Committees. Congressman, you've spoken out against this ban. I'm sure you're obviously very happy with the ruling. I don't know if you've had a chance to read it in full, but it does a lot more than just talk about the temporary ban, the temporary restraining order on the ban. It goes through the underlying constitutionality and finds very much in favor of Washington State.
No, I think that's right. And most of all, President Trump and his administration couldn't show any evidence of harm. The fact is that refugees, for example, from these 7 countries, have perpetrated a terrorist act in the United States. So I'm sure when the court was trying to weigh the harm that the government was describing, they could simply show no evidence. I also think that there was a strong message that was sent by the court to the president and also to his administration on that reviewability argument. As everybody knows, the president has been very critical and frankly disrespectful of the judiciary since he took office. In fact, I filed a resolution this past week asking for an investigation into whether the president ordered his administration to disobey the first stay that was put on his executive order. Since then, he's obviously been on Twitter and made comments about the judge in Washington, about blaming the judge if any terrorist acts have occurred. So it's been very disturbing behavior.
So do you think that's part of why they did what they did, that they went in such detail, that they were unanimous? Do you think that they felt pressure to be unanimous because they were sort of fighting back at him because of what he said about judges?
Well, I think that they looked at the case on the merits, but it's certainly possible. You know, I don't think that his rhetoric and being so disrespectful to a co-equal branch of government was helpful to him.
On the underlying merits, do you think the discussion that everyone's been saying here is that he should get rid of this, revoke the ban, and go ahead and write a new one? Obviously, that's not what he's indicated he's going to do. He could change his mind, but he said, see you in court. Hasn't indicated he's going to go in that way. But is there some way that he could write this that you would get behind? I mean, after all, you sit on foreign affairs, you sit on intelligence. You are aware of risks, and you're aware of risks that people who want to do this country harm are planning to do this country harm. They're trying to find ways to get in. Is there some sort of a ban, an order, that he could write that you would support?
An across-the-board ban, that's very doubtful. There's something they could write that I would support. I think it's always fair to be considering and assessing national security threats to our nation. But look, Donald Trump, almost from the beginning of his campaign, started talking about how he could exclude people from the United States. He spoke very specifically about a Muslim ban. Even after the executive order was put into place, as you mentioned, Rudy Giuliani went on television and said that the president called him and asked him how he could accomplish a Muslim ban. And so with those kinds of intentions, I think it's going to be very hard to find middle ground or agreement. So
you mentioned that when it comes to enforcing the travel ban, that when it first came down against the president, that you thought that he may have been trying to instruct border control to go against the actual ruling. You were looking into whether he violated the Constitution at that time. What you said was, I hope President Trump obeyed the law, but if he didn't, Congress should censor him. If after censure the president again acts unconstitutionally, Congress should take steps to remove him from office. So are you looking down that path? Are you trying to find ways already talking impeachment?
Well, you know, I said that if it's determined, either the Inspector General, who has said that he will investigate, or hopefully the Justice Department will investigate, if it's determined that he asked CBP to disregard or disobey that order, then at a minimum the Congress should censure the president as a clear warning not to do it again. And at that point, the choice is his. If he continues to disregard the judiciary, and the judiciary is the way that we settle our disagreements. So what you're basically saying as a president is that not only am I president, but I also am going to usurp the power of the courts, or the referees in this case. So the Congress would have no choice if any president, and this president, decides that he's going to completely usurp the power of the courts, than to move for his removal.
All right, Congressman Castro, thank you very much. I appreciate talking to you.